Hey, world-changing women in the house. Today on Conversations with Moxie today, I have the gorgeous, inspiring Kim Carpenter, who is the head of the international and highly impactful World-Changing Women group. Also, an amazing friend I've gotten to meet this year, thanks to another amazing friend, Janet Zaretsky, introducing us. Oh, by the way, here's who I am. This is, can you see it?
A little higher.
I think that's high enough. Moxie Creative and Consulting, and we're all about getting more visibility for people who are out making a difference, basically transforming your go-to or hidden gem experts into go-to authorities making a big impact. And today, Kim and I are going to have this super juicy conversation. I already see some people on there. Hi, Janet. And there's somebody else there who has a mysterious picture. I can't tell who it is just yet, but we'll find out. And we're going to be talking about what it is, particularly, and I'll own this as a woman in the second half of life. I know I don't look like it, but it's true. And
you're not 21.
Hey, 58 and proud, girl.
Woo!
And so, I have my own business and have had the pleasure and honor, really, Kim, of getting to know you. But more than that, having you really share with me who you are at the heart of what you're up to. And, such a difference it has made for me. Before I even let you open your mouth, I have to say this. Being part of your group, which, my client, Janet Zaretsky, I said, I need you to be can I be your client? I need that BS to brilliance on Moxie. Okay. So she said yes. And one of the things that she said to me, part of the coaching was, you need to be part of this World-Changing Women group. I didn't know you at the time, right?
That's right.
And so I'm a good client, and I took the coaching and I said, okay, I don't know what it is. It sounds great. And it has turned out to be, and I'm now a proud member of the founder circle of World-Changing Women. And here's what I can say, just straight up, that this group for me has been such an unexpected resource, lifesaver, mind manager. It's been the well that I go to, Kim, for that kind of, it's everything from the nurturing compassion when you need that, because there are days that we need that, to badass business savvy from women who have, started and run and sold off mega businesses and had experiences at all ends of the spectrum. So with all of that, I just wanted to say, first of all, thank you for what you've provided for me and Moxie. And you're a Moxie gal. So can you share just, you've got this amazing sort of eat, pray, love moment in your life. Can you just share quickly, like, how you went from being this advertising executive with the designer shoes and the hot office in Soho, New York, to how you've now completely reinvented your life?
Yeah, absolutely. It has not been a quick path, but it has been an extremely fulfilling and interesting path. So I started my career in working at ad agencies in New York City. I did that for 9 years and actually got in right at the right time. So I moved to New York in 1998, which was really the boom, the beginning of the internet boom. And I remember starting up the digital marketing department inside of a very traditional TV and print advertising agency, where the owners of that agency were in their 60s, and they're like, okay, we need these things called websites, and we don't know what that means. And so I was 28 years old and super quickly climbed the corporate ladder, actually jumped companies every year because they couldn't throw enough money at us, the youngsters at that time who knew anything about digital and about the internet and marketing online. And so, you know, we were the generation that really created this whole thing. And it was super exciting. I got to work on projects for the Metropolitan Museum of Art, Brooklyn Academy of Music, MasterCard, Blue Cross Blue Shield. You know, all these sites were winning tons of awards. Wow. And it was like, cool. And I'm working with all these creative people. And like you said, Sex in the City lifestyle, really nice shoes, working in advertising. And I was really empty. I just felt really empty. And I kept saying, what are we doing that's good for the world? And kept trying to look at how can we actually use technology to further humanity, to make a positive difference. And that's just been a perpetual question of mine throughout my whole career. I even talked my CEO at one point, one company, into starting the e-learning division of the company because I said, at least education is like doing something good for the world. So I got into e-learning as well as digital marketing at the same time pretty early on. And, you know, I kept getting promotions and found myself one day the director of client services for a pharmaceutical advertising online division and thought, I have sold my soul to the devil. You know, I don't even really believe in pharmaceuticals. I think some stuff is overprescribed. I was working on an antidepressant brand and was just like, oh, I feel more depressed every day, right? So yeah, I had my Eat, Pray, Love moment. I started working with spiritual teachers who were teaching me about meditation. And I said, I'm quitting my job, I'm selling everything, and I'm going to India and I'm living in an ashram. And so my spiritual teachers were like, go here, you know, this is the ashram you should go to. So I'm like, okay, cool, I'm doing it. It was very risky, right? And something.
Yeah, because do they have Yelp reviews for those things? I don't think so, right?
No, they did not. But I had some friends who had been there and said, this is a cool place to go. And so I ended up living in an ashram for 5 months in India and then traveling around the world after that for a year, and was in Israel, Cyprus, Germany, Italy. Yeah, and it was just incredible. So that took my life into a whole different trajectory. And I really
some stories that really are best told over a glass of wine, I understand as well. Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. But more on that some other conversation.
Yeah, some other non-business conversations.
Oh yeah, like Janet said, older is the new younger.
There you go.
There you go.
Totally. So yeah, and then after India, it was like, wow, I definitely don't fit in New York City any longer. Where do I want to go? I had an opportunity to live in Canada, was there for 6 years, became a dual citizen, Canadian and American, ran a small digital marketing boutique agency in Canada, was always dancing between, you know, I also trained as a life coach. I did, you know, just a whole bunch of things that I was interested in. I was just following my passions. And it's brought me back around to looking at how can we really make a positive impact in the world through business, right? Yeah. So at one point I thought, I'm getting rid of marketing and business. I don't want to do that anymore. And then I realized marketing is just a story well told. And for women like you and Janet and Michelin and some of the others, Morna, some of the ones that are Hey, Morna, those of you that are watching and that are inside of our World Changing Women community are using business as a vehicle for good. And wow, you know, how exciting that is to be able to help those women get their legacy into the world, get known, get their brand recognized so they can build their movements, write their books, get their talks out there, get, you know, the important work that they know is theirs to do in the world. So I'm beyond thrilled. I can't believe that World Changing Women's already making an impact with people, and it's in its first year. I incorporated in March. So when I look at that timeline, I'm like, wow, okay, a lot has happened. And there's still a long way to go, right? But a lot has happened.
Yeah, like Morna says, right on. Yeah, a lot has happened. And you know, what's the proof is in the pudding, as my grandmother Hilda Hastings used to say. My mother's on. Hey, Marty B. She's a world-changing woman from way back. So, but look, the proof is in the pudding, by which I mean, for a long time, Kim, well, for a long time, you know, I've had this business for just almost 2 years now. So for that long, I've felt like, sure, I'd love to be one of those business women who is making a difference with my business, but I'm not there yet. You know, I'm not big enough. I got to do this. I got to do that. It always felt like some extra thing that, sure, it's a good idea. Sure, I'd love to do it. It's going to have to take a back seat, right? Until I was part of this group, right? Hey, Bruce, good to see you. Bruce in Oklahoma City. So, so first of all, you have located and identified this amazing cause that World Changing Women is taking on supporting right now. All right. But I'm not going to say what that is yet, because I want to share how this unfolded out of being in your group. Right. So I know about, let's insert amazing charity here. All right. Through Kim. And here's what happens. I got completely enrolled in it. I'm thinking, yes, I don't know how Moxie is going to support that, but Moxie's going to support that. A day or two later, a client and friend of mine who's responsible for the Moxie Maine, that would be Jordan, who has Salon Snob here in Chicago. She has an event at this store on Michigan Avenue, Alice and Olivia. And so she says, hey, can you come by? And I'm thinking, oh God, I'm all settled in for the evening. And then I think, oh, you know, I can get one of, I'm going to admit this swayed me. I could get one of her Lip Snob lipsticks. This is Nicolette Street, by the way, Nicolette Avenue. And I thought, okay, fine, just go, right? So when I'm there, I'm in a conversation with the store manager of Alice and Olivia. And she's saying, oh yeah, we have events like this, like she was having with Salon Snob. And she said, and sometimes we do it and offer people a chance to not only get a discount on all our merchandise, but also have a percentage of the sales go to the charity. And I said, ding, ding, ding. You know, so I saw this opportunity, this conversation, I saw through new eyes because of the organization, your group, right? Our group, World Changing Women.
Yeah.
And so in that moment, suddenly some option was possible. I had an access. And I said, you know, I said, I'm part of a group called World Changing Women. Eyebrows shoot up. She's like, wow, okay, cool. Tell me more. So first of all, for those of you interested, it makes a difference just to be able to say, this is who I am. I'm a part of a group that's called World Changing Women. So then I went on to tell her, I said, look, I pull up some pictures on my iPhone. I show her, because you had just sent me this link of this group, this organization called Adamo Nail Bar, right?
Yeah.
In Austin, Texas. Okay, you got to get this. So perfect. An Airstream trailer, beautifully decorated and turned out to be a traveling nail salon. And as if that's not cool enough for anybody, this is the killer part. This business is devoted to helping women get out of human trafficking situations. Now, I want you to say just a little bit about that before I come back to the story. So can you tell us a little about that?
Yeah, for sure. So the Adamo group was founded by 3 sisters who are super passionate about this. And we're in Austin, Texas. And so it's actually a huge problem. It's actually specifically sex trafficking. So what they do is they were able to get certified as trainers for women to become nail technicians, right, to do nails. And so they partner with an organization called Key to Free, which does the rescue operations and the rehabilitation of the human trafficked women. And oftentimes these are very young women, very young girls. And they help give them a place to live, help them get their life started. But the key is having employment that's above the poverty line. And so what Adamo Group does is they train them, they give them job skills to be nail techs, and they help them get job placements because they have partnerships with all the nail salons in town. So they help them get jobs, they help them establish a life beyond the basically modern day slavery that they've been in. So it's huge and it's highly effective. It's working very well. And, you know, these people are being, because it's not enough to just rescue, right? Oftentimes people will go back into this because that's where their friends are. That's the life that they've known. So I'm just so, Carissa Benavides is the founder, and I'm just so honored to be working with her. And so what we're doing as World Changing Women is helping raise funds, and also our members are mentors for these nonprofits so that we can really help them be successful.
Yes. Okay. So I didn't know 95% of that to tell the store owner, right? I basically told her as much as I said before you said all this, all the details. And here's what happened. And this is what illustrates how it's not hard and it doesn't take anything away from my business. But here's what happened. By the very next morning, there's an event now booked at Alice and Olivia's store on Michigan Avenue here in downtown Chicago. And on Wednesday, October 10th, even if you don't live in Chicago, you can order by phone, you can call the store, and all the purchases from that day are going to have 10% go to Adamo Nail Bar. Now, I'm also going to be there for happy hour 5 to 7. They're going to have champagne and little nibblies, and we're going to celebrate looking good and feeling good by giving back. And it's going to be great. But the real point is, look, I am on cloud 9, Kim, because I get to do this.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah. And I just want to say something about that. I do. Yeah. You're so welcome. And that's the thing too, you know, that I wanted to create with World Changing Women, because many of my clients have a social impact mission baked into their business mission. Right. Yeah. And you actually do too, because you're supporting entrepreneurs who have a positive mission to get their voice out there, get their work out there in a bigger way. Right. But it's not so always directly one-to-one correlated with a cause or with a philanthropy. So all of our members inside of World Changing Women, by the inherent value of being a part of that membership community, they're also a part of this philanthropic effort. And I say we're committed to ending human trafficking, right? Like that's our focus. We're focusing a lens on that. And so everybody in the community gets to be a part of that, yes, even if they don't personally have, you know, so, because I know a lot of startups, right? It's really scary to think, I don't have money to give back to philanthropy this year. All my money, all my profits going back into my business. Right. Right. And I need to just focus the energy there, and it's true, you guys, like if you don't have a sustainable business, you're not going to be able to make your impact. So you need to do that. Yes. And we created this support structure for you. So you get support around your business and you get to be a part of making a difference in the world. So it's a win-win for everybody.
That's right. I mean, if you consider, I consider that a really beautifully created brand is essentially something that calls forth your best self, right?
Yeah.
This is a way for my brand to be its best self. It's another expression of the best self of Moxie. And I really see that as possible for so many more of us than maybe currently see that as an option.
Yeah. Wow. That's really powerful. Beautiful.
What is it like for you, Kim? What's it like for you personally that this dream of yours that started as an idea walking down the beach or in the shower or driving around or who knows when has actually, it's a thing outside of you. You've created it, you nurture it like a fierce mama bear, you worry over it, you cause it, You dream about it. What's it like to see it actually happening?
It's pretty trippy. It's funny because I think most of the time I have so much forward momentum that I don't stop and take account of what actually has transpired in a short amount of time until I talk to people like you. And then I'm like, oh yeah, oh yeah. So it's like I'm being, like, my life is being led by what I call source, some people call God, the universe, and it moves me forward. Like, I feel like I'm being, oh man, and I've said this for so long, like, God, use me, use my life. And I feel like that's happening. Like, I am being used by this mission. You gave me a beautiful quote one day related to that. The brilliant, what was it? The flame. There's this gorgeous quote that you gave. Anyway, we digress.
It's really good.
Yeah. So it's like to be used up by our life, right?
Oh, that quote.
Yeah, that quote, to be in service, right, to a greater mission. And so sometimes I have to pinch myself, but most of the time it's like it's using me, and I just keep barreling forward, and it's just happening. It's not like I'm not pushing, which I have done in the past, which is part of in our seven part system for world changing women. The first aspect is feminine leadership, because what I have come to see for myself is that when we don't have a balance of masculine and feminine, we will get burnt out by the masculine pushing and driving, the masculine aspect within us, right? So there needs to be a balance of receiving, input and output of energy. And so, I did that. I burnt myself out. I went to Bali, actually ended up living in Bali for 6 months last year, which was really incredible. And it was after I came back from Bali that I did a lot of deep work with a few different people. Janet Zareski is one of them. Rhonda Renee is another one. Feminine Power, Claire Zammit, and did some deep soul searching around, okay, what's the next step? And World Changing Women was there. It was just obvious. So
I found the quote. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. This is George Bernard Shaw. This is one of my favorites. I'm going to do my best to get through it, so bear with me. This is the true joy in life. The being used for a purpose, recognized by yourself as a mighty one. The being a force of nature instead of a feverish, selfish little clod of ailments and grievances, complaining that the world will not devote itself to making you happy. I am of the opinion that my life belongs to the whole community. And as long as I live, it is my privilege to do for it whatever I can. I want to be thoroughly used up when I die. For the harder I work, the more I live. I rejoice in life for its own sake. Life is no brief candle for me. It is a sort of splendid torch, which I have got hold of for the moment. And I want to make it burn as brightly as possible before handing it on to future generations. Thank you, George.
Yes.
Oh my God, that just does it to me every single time.
Yeah, the splendid torch.
The splendid torch.
And have our life be used up. And the part about community. I believe, and you helped me articulate this in my Moxie branding, we do not do the really big stuff alone. We cannot. We need each other. The mantra for World Changing Women is stronger together. And
That's
it's right. In our community, in our coming together is our strength. And, for me, humanity is my family and my community and my world. And it's not okay with me that so many people in my family are suffering and don't have access to like water. You know, so I can't not
Water,
do
air
this.
treatment.
Yeah, I cannot not do this mission. And I know so many listening feel the same way. They
I
can't
do.
not do their thing that they're here to do. And that's what World Changing Women does. It provides the community and the support ecosystem for all of us to step deeper into that. The future, that's the emergent future.
That's
So
right. And,
yeah.
and I'm just going to say straight up, being real, there are Kleenexes involved. Oh, sorry, that's a trademark. Tissues involved in some of the calls. It gets very real. People, you know, we let our hair down. We let our hair down in honor of what's possible, basically. And in fact, we got several people from the Founders Circle on this call now, and I know they're all going to watch the recording.
Yeah.
So, Kim, look, I want to have people have a chance to hear from you about, thank you, Karen. We got that. Thanks for being real.
Thanks, Karen.
Yeah. It's really, once you started, it's kind of hard to go back. But Kim, I would love for you to share some of your wisdom about how do women get started with this? What can they do? How can they feel like, regardless of where they are in the life cycle of their business or growth, how can they start now having this feeling of, okay, I'm doing my part. I'm making some difference in the world.
Oh, wow. You just start where you're at and keep following the threads. For myself, I can see how, even as a young child, there was this, I always wanted to help people. You know, that was a thread for me. And I grew up an Army brat. You know, we lived all over on Army bases and stuff, right? I didn't grow up into privilege. And it's funny that even though we moved a lot, when I graduated from college, I thought, well, that was that time. And I got to move a lot when I was younger. And now I'm going to like get married and have 2 kids and live in the same house and just settle down. Since then, I've lived in, you know, I've lived in 5 countries. I've traveled to 37 countries. And there's something about that travel that really helped me see what was important. Like that I didn't need stuff. I've sold all my belongings twice, you know, so I just kept following the threads. It's like I feel this thread, right, from the emerging future coming towards me, and I just keep following it. And I know that's kind of vague advice, but I think if you're really wanting to do something, just keep saying yes to that. Keep saying yes, and you're not going to have it figured out, and you're not going to know how to do it. You guys, I'm doing my first live event November 1st.
Oh, yeah.
I've run other people's live events, but my friend asked me last night, she said, what made you decide that you had to do this live event and you had to do it this fall? And I was like, I don't actually know. I think I was just in a masterminding session with some of my colleagues, and I was like, okay, what do I want to do this year? I want to have people come together in physical presence. Okay, I guess that's happening in November. You know, it's time. Like, I just decided, and then I figured it out.
That's right.
Right? And
That's
there's money on the table, and there's risk involved, and I'm, you know, inviting people
to going, right?
Oof, right? Because it's like, okay, I have good credit, which is good.
Yeah.
Because it's not like when you're starting up a business, there's tons of cash reserves if you're bootstrapping. But I just keep following the threads. And when I say yes to that deeper calling, it's like this quiet place inside of me. It's not the loud voice. It's the quiet place inside of me that's just speaks in a whisper that's like, it's time to do this now. You can do this, right? Or I know you think you can't do this, but other people around you are standing for your success.
That's right.
And I just keep saying yes.
I so love that, Kim. I love you. This is so great.
I love you too.
So great. I mean, sometimes I think about that as stirring up serendipity too, because in addition to saying yes, there's also the fact of, I had to get my butt up off the very comfortable couch that night last week to go to that event, right? When I wasn't planning on it. And it was saying yes to the little invite. But once I was there, then why not stir up a little serendipity? So I'm not just going to look through the clothes and not talk to anybody and eat the cheese and drink the champagne. I'm actually going to engage with people, right? Yeah. And it was and I had no agenda. That's the thing. You don't even have to have an agenda. In fact, I think most of the time it's best if you don't. And I just started being curious and interested about, do you do this all the time? How interesting. This is so cool. And it evolved, right? And that's a very, very small scale thing. Yet, I know it happens all the time. I mean, there's just the other piece of it that I want to mention. And that is, we all have these things that we know are very true to us. And for you, that core essence is all about community, right? All about community. Oh, Barbara, yes to curiosity. Now there's a curious cat right there, Barbara. But, the things that shine through naturally, I think, are things to notice and expand. I mean, just here's a real life example. And I didn't even know I was going to talk about this, but I'm thinking back to when I met you. Now, what I just realized is you and I have met in person one time. You remember? So Janet got a bunch of people together. I was down in Austin to watch her TEDx talk. She gets some women together for a little fun dinner. And so who you are is, by the end of that dinner, you say, oh, well, you and your boyfriend are going to be in town in the next couple of days. I'm leaving for God knows where in the morning. Here's the keys to my house. Oh, and if you want to drive my cool little Mini Cooper, you can do that too, right? And I'm like, who does that? Like, who does that? We're already staying in Janet's great condo. Now we have the run of Kim's cool little downtown Austin place. But, it's just such a natural expression of who you are that what makes my heart sing is to see your brand, which is really, the face of your mission, such a gorgeous, natural expression of that in a way that it impacts, it'll be God knows how many people.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for holding that with me. Yeah. Yeah, it's so interesting. I think I have a lot of trust in people, and I have really good intuition, and I choose to trust, I really do. And I have been so blessed in my life with all of my traveling, where people have opened up their homes to me or said, I was in Turkey one time and met this woman standing in line to check in for my flight. And I just was flying from London to Turkey for a weekend because it was like $35 round trip flight or something. This was a long time ago. And she's like, do you have a car rental set up in Turkey? I said, no. She goes, that's actually not good. She's like, there's probably not going to be any cars for you. And I'm like, really? She goes, yeah, we're flying into a very small town. And I was like, oh, I didn't know. It was like on a whim, I booked this ticket. And she said, well, you come with me. I'm going to drive up the coast of Turkey and I'll drive you to Istanbul and then you can catch a flight back. And so I had the most incredible week with this woman driving through these little port towns of Turkey, staying in pensions, which are people's homes. It's kind of like before Airbnb, people would just have a room that they rented in their home for like $8 a night. It was insane. And one port city we stopped at, there was a big yacht parked in the bay. This is a fun story. There's a big yacht parked in the bay, and we went up to the restaurant. There was one restaurant in this little port town, and Valentino, the fashion designer, was sitting there with his 2 pug dogs and these like actors around this table in this little town in Turkey. And I was like, okay, this is blowing my mind.
No, I can't believe it. Oh my God.
Yeah. So talk about following serendipity, trusting. Had I not trusted her and just said, yeah, sure, I'll get in the car with you for a week, you know, had I not said yes to that, had I not just booked a ticket to Turkey for the weekend, not knowing, you know, for a week, not knowing how that was going to be, none of that magic would have happened. So
that's right. And, you know, that's a gorgeous story. And, you know, this whole thing of being trusting, that's your clearing. You're being trusting and being generous and welcoming. And it carries over into business. So now you've created a community where you've got all these women, and it's only the beginning, really. You've already got all these women who are opening up their hearts, trusting each other, learning to trust ourselves at a higher level, learning to trust the marketplace, learning to trust the universe, right?
Yep.
And along the way, one of us will, you know, someone will reach out and say, hey, can I give you a hand with X? And I'll say, yes, please. And sometimes I can help somebody else with something. It's the same as you want to stay in the room in my house for a night. I got hot coffee. I got a bed.
Yeah, exactly. I love that you just made that connection for me, Deb, because that really is the feeling that I'm committed to people having inside of World Changing Women. And women have told us, right, you're there, that the authenticity and the vulnerability that's possible in that space is like no other space that they've been in before. And they're able to, you know, we're able to just show up messy and break down and then know that we're going to be lifted up and loved and supported and encouraged to keep pressing on, because the world needs us to leave our legacies and to do our good work. And we can't not do it, you know, like I said before. So
it does. I've got 2 daughters, and, you know, all I have to do is think about them, and it puts a very human face on everything.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And we want that for our daughters and our daughters' daughters, and they're inheriting a world that's pretty messed up. Right. So I see so many women every day, and men too. And my work is with the women right now, right, to help us stay focused, stay the course, and be stronger together in that.
Right. And, you know, I totally get, you know, look, it's not hard. You don't have to go far on social media to get evidence for the world is messed up. And, you know, I prefer to live in, the world has some unique challenges right now. We are living in a unique time, and there are lots of opportunities to make a difference. And
right. More now than ever, more money than ever, more opportunities than ever, more connections than ever, more reach, ability to have reach, global reach like that, right?
Yes.
Than ever.
Yeah. Hello, internet. I mean, truly, you know, having really elevated influence, like no kidding influence, and making a true difference. Oh, there's the mama talking. Damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead, ladies. Yeah, that's my DNA, right?
Yeah.
Where do you think Moxie came from? So, but look, you know, part of what there is for us to grapple with is the fact that if we don't in some way raise the vibe, make a difference, it's because we chose not to.
Boom. Drop the mic on that one.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Oh, and as Barbara says, and it is arduous. It takes rigor of heart.
That's
Hello.
right.
Yeah. And yeah, yeah, it is not for the weak-minded or weak-hearted. But boy, I mean, okay, we're getting deep now, but the love, you give that love away, and it's not like you don't have any left. It expands, The
Yeah.
more love you give away, the more love you shower on yourself and your business, the more love you shower on people around you. It's like it becomes present in your life on an everyday basis. Who doesn't want that?
That's right. Who doesn't want that?
Who doesn't want that? Jeez.
Yeah.
So, Kim, what else do you want to share with us today?
Well, I'd really love to share a little bit about my upcoming event. Is that okay?
I would love, please.
Yeah, because I want to see all of you there, everyone watching. If you've watched this far, I know that you're supposed to be there.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, so this event is all about lifting you up, helping you determine exactly your next steps for getting your legacy into the world in a bigger way, for reaching your audience, for identifying how do you do that, right? So we're going to be talking about marketing, we're going to be talking about sales, we're going to be talking about doing it from a place of conscious intention and heart and love and support all around you. So I would love to have you there. The event is called Stronger Together because that's what we've created inside this community, is that we are stronger together, and you can leverage the power of the collective to really get there. And so you can find out more about that at worldchangingwomen.live, worldchangingwomen.live, and it's November 1st through 3rd in Austin, Texas. And right now, the early bird price is still up, I think, for another week.
And there aren't that many spots left, right?
There, I think we have about 20.
Okay, so
yeah. It's good.
So
it's
this is not like your latest procrastination moment here.
No.
This is like, okay, I'm doing it. I get to be with the ladies. You get to be with a lot of the people who have actually been watching this. We're both going to be there. Kim has amazing things planned. And
yeah, if you're coming, give a little shout out in the chat and let us know.
Yeah. So Moxie's going to be there.
Moxie's going to be there. Janet Zaletsky is going to be speaking. Jane Duber is going to be speaking. Morna Heiss is going to be speaking. Deb Boulanger is going to be speaking. We're going to have incredible leadership of highly experienced women entrepreneurs that are focused on creating positive impact and helping people elevate their business to the next level so they can make the difference they want to make.
Morna's coming.
Morna. And
Karen's coming.
Yes, Karen is awesome. Karen and I are working
Janet's
together.
gonna be there. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
well,
it's you're going to be surrounded by amazing powerhouse women.
Here's the other thing, Kim. There's going to be some wonderful osity, great stuff that bubbles up that we have no way of predicting. Because you know why I know that? Because that's what happens when we get together.
It is what happens when we get together. It's so interesting. I was just at an event last weekend, and it really reminded me of the power of just coming together with an intention to really move forward, right? And I had no idea what I was going to get out of this event.
Barbara said she's booking a flight.
Oh, yay, Barbara! Yay! I'm so excited.
Jeff Wilmore's in the house. Hey, Jeff.
We got the strong, powerful men standing behind the world-changing women. I love it. Thanks, Jeff. Yeah, it's so important. The men in our lives, man, it's so important. I think my brother might whiz by the event to maybe help with AV or something. But so many guys are showing up. My male friends were like, Kim, can I do any heavy lifting for you for your event? Like, can I was like, I will put you to work, brother. Absolutely.
That's cool. That's cool.
It's so I feel so blessed, all the support I have. Yeah. So
Well,
hope to see you guys at the event. Deb and I will be there. We want to love up on you, give you a big hug if that's your thing. And and I have some super exciting surprises planned. I'm not going to tell them what they are, but yeah, Friday night I'm like cooking up something so special and powerful. Just have to put a couple little finishing touches on that before I start talking about it. But
we like surprises.
get ready.
Yeah, we like that whole surprise and delight element, right?
Yeah.
So Kim, before we close, make sure they know where to go so we're not leaving anybody hanging.
Yeah, so it's worldchangingwomen.live, live, and you can find all the information there. And yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank
This was
you,
an
sister.
awesome Conversations with Moxie. I'm Deb Beroset. I think I didn't even introduce myself. Yeah, I'm Deb. I'm the influence stylist with Conversations with Moxie is my fabulous series where I get to talk with all these amazing people. Oh, here we go. Thank you, Morna. There's the URL, and I'll leave that up. And so if you're looking for Moxie, you can find me at itstimeformoxie.com. All right, Kim, this was really great. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
I'll be talking to you real soon.
Thanks everybody for watching.
Thank you for being with us. Great conversation with everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.